Outlander is a 2014 drama series. I guess it would be called a drama series. There's a lot of drama, a lot of just suspense. It goes on for a while. It's a great series. 5 series so far. I think it's in the 6th season, maybe. I just got to the last season, and the next season's coming out pretty soon, or so I hear. The Koof may have changed that. Man, it was good. It's good. If I can try to condense the intro plot. Claire is a Army nurse, served during World War II. Her husband was Army intelligence, so she has more combat experience than he does. War's over. They go on holiday to northern Scotland, or Scotland somewhere. Turns out there's a lot of history with his family in this area. This dude named Blackjack Randall, who's not a nice dude, to put it. I mean, yeah, understatement of the year. Well, it's 2020, so it's not the understatement of the year, but you know what I mean. Of 2014, maybe. So they go to check out this one little area in Scotland. Let's look at my ancestor, Blackjack Randall. They don't find this out because it's 200 years in the past, and we don't have that information right now. We don't know exactly how the dude acted every day. Something about squashing Scottish rebellions and whatnot. So, of course, the Scots still have a checkered past with that. So they're up at this area. Claire somehow gets transported 200 years into the past, and now she has to survive. And she ends up falling in love with Jamie. And then that starts all the historic constants that go on. Is her experience in the future, 200 years, and she can't. She's an Army nurse, Army doctor. She can't tell anybody what she's experienced because they'll call her a witch. It's 1745. There's no germ theory. Most people don't know that mercury's bad for you. So she has to, try to survive any way she can. The series was just amazing. I really liked it. Well, I like the historic portions of it. That was the thing I didn't know I would like. How the historic context and the battles and things that actually happened. The Jacobite Rebellion, that was cool. How does Jamie tie into the Jacobite Rebellion? How do they stop it? Do they stop it? Do they change the course of history? Can they change the course of history? Is it even possible to do so? And that's played throughout the entire series. Let's see. Trying not to give away too much. There was this really cool thing they did with the intros per season. First season is this really cool Celtic bagpipe intro with a modified Skyboat song. Next season they're in France, so then they got the harpsichord and it sounds very French. The next season they're in the Caribbean, and the Caribbean music is there. And then the next season they're in the Americas, and they got this little mandolin going on. It's really nice. And a little bit of Native American wail to it. It's really nice. I really enjoyed the music. So back to the story. somehow or another they end up getting married. Um, and here's the full spoilers, as much as I can remember. Claire and Jamie fall in love. They end up, or she ends up pregnant, and there's a lot of tie-in with her husband in the 1940s and her husband in the 1740s. The ancestor of her husband from the 1940s is James Randall. Could be wrong on that. Blackjack. I'll just keep it that way. Blackjack. He was a terrible person, and there's a dynamic between Jamie and Blackjack. I won't go into now. You'll just have to find out on that one. But it turns out like so some of the actors play the same characters. Her husband from 1940s is played by the same actor for the 1740s, and that's really weird and it's bizarre for her. So that whole thing is taken care of. Then they move on to they go to France after the issue with season 1. Season 2 they're in France. Season 3 they go back, or season 2. I think season 2 they go back and they handle that, and then they go to season 3 in the Caribbean. And there's this big deal with a character from season 1 who is a witch, like an actual witch, and I believe they explained that whole thing. I think they claimed she was a witch. She claimed she was a witch. It turns out she's just loony. And who, I mean, I would assume she's a witch because she bathing in a bathtub of blood. That was just kind of weird. So they get to the Americas. Her daughter, so she man, trying to race around. So she ends up going back to the 1950s, becomes an actual doctor, MD, surgeon, then travels back into the past after raising her daughter. So her daughter's in the future, and she travels back to the past to come to be with Jamie. And Jamie's been in prison 20 years. No way of knowing that he's still alive, other than they found some historic documents and that proves so. So she travels back in time, and then they head off to the Caribbean. They make it to the Americas, and her daughter ends up traveling back in time as well from the same point in Scotland, and then sails over to the Americas to try to find Jamie and Claire in America. And Jamie Bree and Claire try to make the best of things, and then some other people travel back in time with them. It's something to do with quartz crystals and or precious stones, and touching this rock at a special site, and so all of this happens, and then Bree's husband travels back in time, and they're all living happily ever after. And now we're on the next season, or just about to get to the next season, where it is understood that Jamie and Claire will die in a house fire, but they're not really sure because one of the other characters may have ruined the document with his wooden hand when he smudged the print, because he works at the print shop that printed the documents that they found to travel back in time with. And it's all over the place, but it does come together, and it's awesome. I highly recommend Outlander, and this sounds like the ravings of a madman, but I guess you'd have to be a little bit mad to write a show like this, or a book. It's really, really rapey. There's lots and lots of rape, because back then was really rapey. Anyway, if you don't mind the rape and the violence and the misogyny, because that's how things were back then, great show. Asterisk. It's a great show if you don't mind the raping. And there's some nudity. Quite a bit of it. It's a good romance. Good romance. Sort of people making the best of a horrible situation. Check it out. Amazon, I believe. Yeah.